Good morning guys and welcome back to Damo Drives, bringing real reviews to real people and answering some of those questions other channels might not talk about. I've got a question for you. Don't click off until you've heard it. Or don't click off to the end of the video. In fact, I want to know, have you got any phobias? Maybe you don't like heights, maybe you don't like water, maybe it's snakes and spiders. I know some people that they come out all sweaty and they get the shivers when they find out it's there around at the pub. But I seem to have developed a phobia to 6 small inconspicuous words. And they are, I will see you next month. Now you may be confused at this point and be scratching your head and think, how can you be offended by those 6 words? Well, I'll tell you why. My barber says that to me. I get my hair cut and they say, see you next month. And you think, yes, you will. I will look like a tramp if I don't have my hair cut every month. But those words are coming from my local garage. I'm taking this car in there more often than not. They seem to have the car pretty much all of the time, and it's costing me a small fortune. So what I'm thinking of doing is replacing my dilapidated old Ford Fiesta. It's done an amazing job. It's still running but everything seems to be going wrong with something else. Now I've given my friends down at Hendy in Brighton, explained and asked, what have you got that's a small compact hatchback? They said, luckily we've just got in this car here. This is the brand new 2022 Seat Ibiza. They've given me the keys and said, knock yourself out, see what you think over the course of the weekend. So that's what I'm going to do. I was thinking, what can I do that's amazing? I'll go on a road trip to Spain. It's a Spanish car, get some sun. That'd be amazing. And then I thought, 2 things why I can't do that. One, the main one really, is I don't have the money to do that. I'm sure some of you do. And a big hats off if you have got that one. So I'm very jealous. But more importantly is, I don't do that on a daily basis. If I'm looking to replace my daily car, I do normal things. I go to the shops, I take my dog for a walk. Generally, I go and pick up other cars to bring to you guys. So that's what I'm going to do in this video. It's normal stuff. I want to replace my car with something else that does the same. So hopefully, this car could replace my Fiesta. It is the new facelifted model, so we have got a few differences over the 2021 model. Got a new grille and bumper, LED lights come as standard. Overall, I think it looks a great car. Don't take the styling just from me though. Being an old person, I spoke to my daughter who's 21 and she looked at it and said, yeah, it looks pretty good as well. So it's a thumbs up on that one, but I really like the look of the car. So we're gonna have a look around the side, have a look inside, and then we'll go and do some of these real budget Top Gear challenges. I think the side profile of the car is really smart as well. We've got 17-inch alloys which come as standard. If you went for the FR Sport, you can get 18s, and they're in this nice grey finish which matches the wing mirror. Strong swage line runs down the side of the car and wraps itself into the new LED rear lights. But the side profile, I think, it just looks really, really nice. The best thing you can see on the back of the new car is, well, what you can't see. You may think I'm going mad at this point, but this car on the new bumper doesn't have any exhaust pipes. There's none of this fakery going on. It's just a completely smooth back end to the car. So that is a massive thumbs up from me with this design. I don't like fake exhausts. They look, well, they look a bit tacky, to be honest, and I don't know anyone that does like that sort of styling. So I wish they'd take up this sort of style with other cars in the range, in fact other manufacturers. We've got a brand new font for the Ibiza logo, and that is the same handwritten one as you find on the Leon. Reversing camera at the top here, as this is the XCELLENCE Lux. Also parking sensors. Now if you went for a lower model, they would just have the sensors. So that's good all round, as it means you shouldn't in theory reverse into anything. But overall from the back, I'd say it's Smart, it's quite cool looking. It's not particularly going to stand out from anything else on the road. It's not a hey look at me type of car, but it does look nice. The next thing really is the boot. We've got 355 litres of storage in the back of the car. That's supposed to be class leading. The only issue I have with these sort of measurements is 355. I can't conceptualise what that means to you and I. Normal things, what does that actually mean? Well, I'm going to put it through a bit of a test later on, and that'll give you a far better idea of what you can actually fit in the boot. We've got a plastic mat at the bottom here, and that's great if you're going to put something maybe dirty in there, put your dog in, it's easy to wipe clean. Underneath that we have got an area which looks like where a spare wheel should go, but it's just got one of the puncture repair kits, you know, with the foam, which everyone loves. So if you do get a puncture, realistically you'll have to phone the RAC or the AA or one of the other breakdown services that are available. We've got a couple of tethering points in here, and the seats are a 60-40 split, so if you have got bigger items they can easily go in. The only downside to this boot, well, there's quite a large drop between the back of the car and the actual floor. So if you've got something heavy, it's going to be quite difficult. You have to hump it over and into the back, but that's the only downside. So now what we're going to do, we're going to hop inside. It's getting a bit cold out here as well, and I'm going to show you around the inside of the new Ibiza. So welcome to the back of the new Ibiza. I've got to say straight away, in terms of comfort, it's very good. I've got tons of headroom. I've left my seat where it was when I was driving, so I'm 6 foot for some context. Still got a couple of inches there. Nice seats. It's this sort of suede effect with this faux leather as well. Now that's the good things. The bad things, on the other hand, it's a bit minimalistic. I don't have a central armrest, I've got no cup holders, and something I would expect in this top of the range Lux model would be some sort of USB charging. There's a nice central armrest that could easily take at least one, but there's nothing there, so that's a bit frustrating. Other than that, it's quite a nice place to be, so let's hop in the front, have a quick look around there, and then we'll go for a bit of a drive. Well, welcome to the front seat of the new Ibiza. Feels very plush in here already. Let's start it up. So this has got keyless start, so I just need the key in my pocket, put on the clutch, press the start button, and everything will spring into life. It may start bonging at me because my door's open, but it's all come on and it looks very, very modern. This particular one, we've got the digital cockpit. Now that comes on the higher models, including the FR Sport as well, and that can be fully customizable using the buttons on the steering wheel. So you just press this view button eventually. There we go, it's need to accept because the door's open. You can press this view button and it changes what you can see in the middle, different dials, and you can then change what's in the middle of the thing as well, just here, which is fantastic. It's a really classy dash this, and I really like it. The lower models, they do come with something sort of similar. You get a small TFT screen in the middle there where you can cycle through different bits of information about the trip computer, but nowhere near as much as you can here. So we've got the larger touchscreen for the infotainment system on this particular model as well. It's the same as the rest of the range that you find on the other Seat models. You get these tiles that you can swipe through with different information. Double tap, for example, on the map, you can go in there. Press these 3 slashes and press it again with the squares, and it goes over to like all the widgets, all the bits that you can possibly do with the car. There's a lot in here. In fact, there's an awful lot. And you've got Apple CarPlay as standard as well, which is fantastic, and Android Auto. That's all wireless. The only thing I have found is this pad here, I was hoping to be wireless charging because it's USB Type-C and my phone is an iPhone, so I don't have that. But the other problem I found is even if I had an adapter, my phone barely fits in this gap. So you wouldn't be able to plug that in and that in with the adapter. You'd have to have it sort of around here, and that's a bit messy, but oh well. My fault for having a too big a phone. This, we've got the 6-speed manual. You can get the 7-speed DSG. Under here we've got buttons to lock the door, turn your start stop off, go through the different driving modes and turn your parking assist on and off. Now this section here, this is really nice. We've got physical buttons again for the air conditioning. It's strange because the Leon, obviously it's the model above this, that has gone and that's up built into this, but this I personally think is the better option and the better way. I wish all cars were. We've got a couple of cup holders here as well, and then over to the steering wheel. It's a really nice wheel. It's got a nice leather feel to it, and then the buttons, which do take a bit of getting used to. It's definitely worth sitting down with this for a few minutes at least before you go out driving, because you've got buttons over here all to do with your cruise control, the buttons over on the right, they're all to do what you see on the digital cockpit. We've got a change of dash over the previous one. We've got like nice soft touch materials across here, these nice angles with this sort of yes, it's plastic again, but it's a nice contrast, light and dark silver. Now these vents here, the ones over on that side and around here, they've got like LED backlit, so when it gets dark you can actually see them. It looks okay. I wouldn't say it looks amazing, but it's quite a nice feature to have on here. We've got soft touch on the door as well, where you rest your arm, all the controls for the windows, child locks, etc. over on the right, and then lower down by my knee we've got ones to turn the lights on. But overall this is a really nice place to be. So that's a quick look over the cockpit, the main features that this car has. So let's go on a bit of a drive. Let's go and start some of my Top Gear budget challenges and get a better idea of whether this car can replace my current rather tired Ford Fiesta. Right, I've picked up the car from Seat Hendy in Brighton and we're on to my first budget Top Gear challenge. It's a really exciting one and I know you will be gripped by this. I'm going to the supermarket. Yep, going to the supermarket. It is really, really, really boring. I can't get over how boring going to the shops are, but if I'm looking at replacing my Fiesta with this car, it needs to do everyday things. My car at the moment does this, and this has got 350 litres roughly of storage in the back. Now 350 litres doesn't really mean a lot to many people. It's 350 bottles of water. Now if you're a salesman who sells bottles of water, that is a great thing, but to me, and it means nothing. I want to know how much shopping can I fit in the back. So I've picked up my wife who's hiding off camera. I've got my mother-in-law in the back who wants to do the shopping. We've got my dog Rocco in the back as well who... Oh, hello.
Right on cue.
Yes, exactly. He's not going shopping. I'm going to take him for a walk. But we're going to go there. We're going to load up the back because it's got a reasonable sized boot in here. And then that, in theory, should give us a real world example of what this car can actually do. I wish they'd put that in the brochure. Right, you can fit 7 large bags of shopping, a camera bag, and some beer in the back of the car. It'd be far more useful than 350 bottles of water. So,
and not forgetting the mother-in-law.
Exactly, and the mother-in-law who fits nicely in the back there. So while my mother-in-law and wife have gone into the supermarket, I thought, right, I don't really want to sit in the car, as nice as it is in there and as comfortable, might as well get some fresh air while the weather is okay and take this little man for a walk. He's been crossing his paws for a while, needing to go out to the loo, and then once they've done their shopping, We can load everything in the boot, and I'm hoping everything will fit in there. My current Fiesta, the boot isn't exactly the biggest, although it is full up with junk as well and camera equipment. So I really hope it does fit, because normally what happens is I have to pile it onto the back seats and in the passenger footwell. It's all a bit of a mess. Rocco then wants to eat half the food that is in said shopping. So we're going to carry on walking, get about a half hour in here before they're actually ready, and then we'll load up the car and we'll see how much stuff we can get in the back. And is Rocco going to get to poke his nose around in any shopping that's actually on the back seat? Right, we've got the first lot of shopping down here, so you've done yours.
I have indeed.
Exactly, perfect.
Including a pre-Christmas present.
Nothing wrong with that, is there? So let's see how much we can get in here. So I've got my camera equipment as well. We have beer. Loads of room. Shopping, mince pies, I may have to steal those.
No,
not allowed then.
No, the selection boxes for you. Another one?
Another one, there you go.
Don't forget you've still got Amber's.
Yeah, that's
Christmas
true.
Paper.
Goes in there. So it's looking good at the moment.
And cold stuff.
And cold stuff. And that's certainly bigger than the Fiesta. That's a lot bigger. So now we've just got to wait for my wife to come back and fill up the boot as well.
I think it'll be full.
Yeah, I think it will, but she doesn't want to be on camera, so I'll show you what that's like in a minute when she...
I'm going to deposit my trolley.
Yeah, you go and enjoy that. We'll see you in a minute. So we're pretty much done now. Just waiting for my wife, as I said. She needs to get her shopping. Rocco's all strapped in the back. Mother-in-law's putting the trolley back, and then we can head off in a minute. So yeah, all round it's done pretty well. Right, so now I've got my wife shopping. So let's fit this in. This may be a bit harder to do. We've got all of that to fit in here, so see what happens. It looks like it's mainly fitting in here. So we've got another three bags. It may be a bit of a squash, potentially, possibly. I think some of this Rocco's going to get his wish, and it's going to need to go in the back seat with him. So right.
Good boy. Not quite made it.
No, not quite. Nearly. Very, very nearly made it there. So got some empty bags. They'll definitely fit in there. And then the only thing I think we've got to do is some Coca-Cola, which can go in the front of my wife. It's going to have to go with you, I'm afraid. There you go. If you put that. So we've done most of it now. It's done pretty well. So boot is pretty much chocker. That would never have fitted in the back of my car. So let me put the trolley back, and then we'll head off. Right, we're all buckled up. Let's get going. All the things come on, right. So I've got...
You're not mother-in-law proof.
No, let's put it into reverse. We have got reversing cameras. That should come on. Very useful. I think it's because it's the Lux version. It comes with cameras and sensors. The rest of them come with just sensors.
As I said, it's a very good size to park, isn't it?
It is. Very, very easy. So that goes off. Then we've got the front facing ones here. And that's it. Not that difficult, really. So boots loaded. Yes, we've had to put something down my wife's feet and the cake there. Something on the back seat, so Rocco's probably going to end up burying his nose in it somewhere. But overall, it's a big thumbs up. Once I've taken Rocco for a walk and done my chores, when I'm out and about, I might want a bit of fun on some more exciting modes like I've got here. It's not my main priority of this car, but is it a fun car to drive, or is it a bit boring and It literally will be A to B, and I've got no desire really to go out and drive the thing for the pleasure of it. Well, we've got different driving modes in the car depending on what we want to do. So there's a button over on the left hand side which you can cycle through. So we can have a look what we've got there. We've got Eco, Normal, Sport and Individual. We'll go into the individual mode, and this is where you could customise the settings to how you like it. We can change the weight of the steering, the engine, the ACC and the air conditioning. Now air conditioning more is, if you're driving around in Eco, you can change that to also Eco, and it will be a bit less aggressive on the air conditioning just to eke out a bit more fuel economy. But I don't care about that side of it, not on these roads. We're going to go over to Sport, so that's going to increase my throttle response, weight up the steering. Now in some models I've seen you can actually get adaptive suspension, so if you wanted to firm up the car a bit more you could do. But in this mode, we're in the sportiest this particular model can go. Up front, the 1 litre 3-cylinder engine is putting out 110 brake horsepower, 200 newton meters of torque. So it's not the most powerful car, but it's enough, hopefully, to have a bit of fun. Picks up nicely. Gear change is good. Feels quite well weighted on the road. These are quite undulating bits of road as well, and it's handling it very well, considering this is like standard suspension really. It's very, very enjoyable. Gears are nice, you can get through those. Brakes are good. It makes some sort of noise, I don't know whether that's real. But this is a cracking little car. So it's only, like I said, a 1 litre, but picks up and you're off. So yeah, it's practical and it's fun, so it's a big thumbs up on that one. For me, the cost and certainly the fuel economy is really important when looking for a new car. The WLTP on this new Ibiza is between 42 to 47 mpg, and I want to find out, well, simply, can you actually get the WLTP figures on the new Ibiza? Now I'm going to go down and see my daughter and granddaughter who live down in Worthing, and that will give me a mixture of B roads, A roads, dual carriageways, and what I'm actually going to do is go through Brighton, through the city centre and then across the coast. So it's going to be a real variety of different types of road I'm going to be on. The cabin in here is really nice. They've certainly upped their game. You can tell this is part of the VW group. There's some really nice materials used on here. They've upgraded the dash, so it's all soft touch, which is really nice. Some nice angles. It just feels a really classy place to be in here. Over this side as well, we've got these new, they're like backlit vent things. Not too sure I like them. They're okay if you get the FR Sport. They come in red, and at night obviously they glow up. So that's a thing. They do seem to have put a lot of time and effort thinking about touch points in this car, and to me they're probably the most important. You can't have amazing materials all over the car when you're in a vehicle that's around £20,000. Yes, if this was a 50 grand car you'd expect it, but the touch points, we've got a really nice steering wheel. My armrests on the door, they're softly padded. Nice gear stick. The central armrest here, there's nice soft materials. So overall, I think they've done a really good job inside this cabin. It feels a very premium place to be, and you can certainly tell they make, they're part of the Volkswagen group, so part of Audi as well. We've now arrived down in Brighton City, and the fuel consumption wise, we've done 53.2 since I reset the computer. We've done around sort of 10 miles of dual carriageway, lots of B roads. So that figure is pretty impressive. We're going through the town now, and that certainly will hit it. It's going to be lots of stop starting, low speed driving, and this is where something like a PEV or a full EV would be a lot better for this sort of driving. But the fact it's only a 1 litre engine, 3-cylinder, it should in theory be sipping fuel as much as you can. I'm sure if you're in some sort of big 5 litre V8 it'll be absolute nightmare, but for this size engine it's a good compromise between performance and fuel economy. I've now arrived down in Worthing, well, near Worthing anyway, and let's have a look how we've done with the fuel consumption. WLTP, like I said at the beginning, 42 to 47. Let's have a look, drum roll please, and we'll change over. Let's have a look. What have we done? Right, we've done 40 miles, been driving for an hour and 49 minutes, an average of 22 miles an hour, and we've done 48 miles per gallon. Now that's at the upper end of WLTP. I was seeing a lot higher numbers than that. If I had have stuck to the motorways or dual carriageways, I think that would have been over 50. So that is very impressive. So the answer is yes, you can get the fuel consumption to be pretty good, and certainly something I can live with. The question I asked at the beginning of the video, and it was to find out, could the new Seat Ibiza replace my aging 2008 Ford Fiesta? Simply put, yes it could. It is a very comfortable car, very capable, can do the shopping no problem at all. My mother-in-law was very comfy in the back. Rocco the dog was very comfy, he did tell me so. He didn't. I can just imagine he was very comfortable in the back. Motorway cruising speeds was fine, and when you did want to push on, it didn't set my world on fire in terms of performance, whereas my current car may actually set on fire. Yeah, it was just an enjoyable car to drive all round. Didn't cost an absolute fortune, 220 a month. So yes, I could see myself in this as my next car. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. A big thanks to Seat Hendy in Brighton for lending me the car. Any comments please put down below. Click on the subscribe button, share it if you think other people would be interested in this car, and thanks for watching.